tell me a fun random fact about you. And the fun random fact is that I traveled and was out of the US for 2 years after I graduated college when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life when figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. I went to Australia and New Zealand. I had working holiday visas, and I just worked and traveled and wandered and had a fantastic time. So like I said, I was out of the country for almost exactly 2 years, like, to the day, and I actually went to 8 countries total. I started in New Zealand. I went to Samoa, Thailand, Rwanda, Italy, Greece, Bali, and Australia. Those were my 8 countries. So, that's another thing I could talk about all day long is traveling and all that. So, random fun fact for you. And this actually kind of leads into the final question. If you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would your alternative career be? And this was what I always wanted to be when I grew up, was the thing I always wanted to do was be a National Geographic photographer. I love photography. I remember getting my first camera maybe when I was like 10 or so for Christmas, like one of the long skinny ones. Um, and I've always loved photography, always loved traveling, and just thought that would be like the perfect job. So always wanted to be National Geographic photographer. I've mentioned here and there that my degree is actually in graphic design, and think I considered changing to photography probably just about every single semester that I was in school, and even so much so, like, I think it was my senior year, I seriously considered it, sat down and looked at, like, what would I have to do to change my major at this point, and pretty much graphic design and photography, the majors themselves were the difference between either photography classes or graphic design. So, to get the photography degree, I would have had to do, like, 4 photography classes, but, I couldn't take them all simultaneously. I would have had to do, like, 1 each semester, so I finally was just like, "Alright, I'm so close to the graphic design degree, I'll just get the degree in graphic design and just continue to take photos and do that as a passion side hobby as well." So yes, so here I am, and, oh, here's another fun fact. I had contacts at one point, and when I was in Australia, since I was gone for 2 years, I ran out of contacts, and I was like, "Well, I could either buy more contacts or I could buy a really nice camera." So, I bought the really nice camera. I bought a digital SLR camera and said, "Screw the contacts," and haven't worn contacts since because I tried them again once I got back to the States, and I just wanted to tear my eyeballs out and never got back into them, so bought the camera, have tons and tons of photos from my travels. I would love to kinda wish I had done some sort of, like, photo blog or something, but I don't think I knew what that was at the time, so that is, again, something else I could talk about all day long is traveling and places to go and things to do and see. This one's a fun question. Are you a mountain or beach person? I was having my husband help me come up with some questions, then they all started sounding like dating questions. He was like, "Are you a beach person? Are you a morning person? How do you" I was like, these all sound like dating questions," but this one's fun because I am very much a mountain person. Absolutely love the mountains. I went to college in Colorado, in a little town in the middle of nowhere in the mountains, and absolutely loved it. Colorado is a place where anytime I go there, it, like, feels like home. Like, that is where I'm meant to be someday. So, went to school in Colorado, definitely a mountains person, although I have learned to appreciate the beach. As you can tell, I'm a little fair-skinned and red hair, so I sunburn like no other, but I finally learned to how I need to do the sunscreen and the hat and the umbrella and all the things and then kind of sit there with a good book, and I can be okay at the beach, but definitely mountains, snow, winter, that is me.